Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking about how to overcome any problem in your business like a pro. So, if you are an entrepreneur, a service based entrepreneur that is feeling stuck or feeling like you're spinning your wheels or let's see, frustrated or confused in any way as to maybe where to start or what to do to get results, then you're in the right place. I'm Heather, and hopefully you can hear me okay. My mic's been acting up lately. But if you're here with me today, say hi. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Um, put your name or give permission to share your name so I know who you are. And if you're here with me live, you could put hashtag live. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And of course, on YouTube, like and subscribe, put those notifications on so that you can be notified when all these new valuable lessons come about. But I'm here every Thursday in the Facebook group, the Business Growth Blueprint for High Ticket Services That Sell. Hey, Peggy, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, come and join us in there too. There's tons of valuable information, but every Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I do a live that goes out to Facebook and YouTube. So let's get ready. Let's dive in. How to overcome any problem in your business like a pro. This is going to be very valuable for you if you're a business owner, essentially, because being an entrepreneur means that you're a problem solver, especially if you're a coach, a consultant, an expert, a mentor, a speaker, or whatever service that you might be offering people. They're hiring you to solve their problems, right? So all your clients, the one thing they have in common is that they have problems that are too big for them to solve on their own. So that's why they came looking for you. And that's what you're getting paid to do, right? So it's a must that you get very, very good at solving problems in your own business. So let's dive in and give you a new perspective on tackling problems by walking you through a very simple framework to use in solving any problem in your business. Okay. And let's start off with number one. So the first principle to understand that problems are inevitable, right? I've met so many entrepreneurs who are new to the game and they run into a major problem or several problems. And what do? They throw in the towel. Like you need to have grit and tenacity as a business owner. They might be thinking like, oh, this may not be for me. I really don't know how to do business. And then they set these like big, lofty goals, run the course and then hit a brick wall. So then they back down immediately and think that maybe they're just not cut out for it. Maybe they're just not cut out for this kind of life, right? Because nobody's telling them what to do anymore. They might be better off at a 9-to-5 desk job. And I can tell you right now that it's an employee mindset. Okay. And you should not even entertain those thoughts if you want to be a business owner. And I talk about this a lot, the employee versus empire mindset, whether it's a mini empire or a big empire. This is the first thing I work on with my clients because in our society, we're trained to be workers, right? I say this all the time. We're trained to be workers. Our school system, our television, our friends, our family, our parents, like everybody is trained to be workers. Go to school, get good grades, go get a job, work, 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 do. Nobody ever teaches you how to be a business owner. And it's a completely different way of thinking. Okay. We're not talking about like woo-woo, positive affirmations, whatever. Those are good too. But we're talking about a completely different way of thinking, like being the CEO of YOU, I call it. Okay. So, um, you know, it's really imperative that you have that distinction, right? The employee mindset versus empire mindset. It's not you. It's probably just the way your business model is set up of why it's not working and why you might think that it's not for you. Okay. But don't go back to your 9-to-5 job. There's a ways, right? It's just like, don't back down. But if you want to be on top, you know what? You got to learn to climb and push through with barriers. Okay. So running into challenges is part of the course and you'll encounter them no matter what route you take. Okay. So it's not true that, if this is for you, then it's going to be easy because having a job or having a business isn't easy. It's not easy, right? It can be simple, but it's not easy. So, don't think that you won't be stumbling and falling all along the way. It's just not realistic. So let me just be the one to tell you that running into problems is part of your job as an entrepreneur. And when you set goals that are completely outside of your comfort zone, which you should be doing, you're definitely going to be challenged. Because if you're comfortable, you're not growing, right? You're not doing things that are making you grow. You're playing small. So if you want to play big, if you want to be successful, if you want to learn a new skill, learn a new language, right? It's going to put you out of that comfort zone. And that's part of the course. And that's how growth happens. So when you face these trials head on and get creative and resourceful, get those juices flowing, right? So that's how it works. And that's number one. Just accept that problems are inevitable. Okay. Now let's take a step further. We're going to talk about number two. And that's, you know, about taking ownership of those problems. And this means that you'll look at every problem and consider it, you know, as a, how do I put it? It means that you'll look at every problem and consider it as a failure of leadership. Now, stay with me here. Okay. This means that whatever problem you face in your business, it's because of you. Okay. The reason for that is that everything in your business flows from you, right? It's not from your team, it's not from your family, but it's from you. So let's say that the problem arose because someone from your team didn't perform as expected. Well, you hired that person, right? You trained that person. So maybe you failed at communicating the job description adequately, or, you took a shortcut and didn't train her enough, or, whatever. But the point is that every time there's a problem in your business, you have to take responsibility for it. On one hand, it could be emotionally painful to do that, right? But on the other hand, you're empowering yourself to take action because you understand that it's your responsibility. So you're the source of the problem. So you're also the solution, right? So if you come from that perspective, I take responsibility instead of blaming the universe that this problem just happened then it's out of your control, then you empower yourself by knowing that the solution is not beyond you as well, right? Maybe you don't know what you don't know and you need to hire someone to help you, but unless you take responsibility for it, you're probably not even going to look for that help. Make sense? And then let's dive into number three. Number three, we take it even a step further and we consider that each and every problem of your business is a gift. Yes, a gift, not a burden. So remember how we talked about last week? If you were here last week, we talked about the opportunities that you can find in failing. If you haven't seen that one, go back and look for that. It's called The Hidden Opportunities in Failing. I can tell you this because I know from experience that every problem I've ever encountered in my business has had that seed of something greater. So let's say I have a problem with a client, like with client satisfaction. What do? Right? I find ways to improve my service so that I can get my clients even better results. And as a service-based entrepreneur, we can set these big, lofty goals for ourselves, right? So for example, my big goal is to hit 80,000 a month. Okay. So if you want to get to that point, then you're going to have to work on the details and maybe, get 5, 10, 15 things fixed. Remember, right? Like that insanity is to be thinking that you'll be getting a different result by doing the same things over and over again. So things have to shift, things have to flow, right? Things have to evolve, right? So if you want to hit your desired outcomes, you got to do things differently and look at your problems as opportunities to improve continuously. Because every problem, it's a telltale sign that something needs to be fixed in that area of your business. And once you get it done, then everything runs a little more smoothly, right? You get closer to the results that you're looking for. You get closer to those desired results. And you just, don't try to solve your problems from that place of anger or desperation, because the negativity, like coming from that negativity or that low vibration, it's just going to suck the life out of you, right? Like, and you always, whatever you're resonating out, you're going to get back. So if you're operating from that place of negativity or like a lower vibration, I don't know if you're familiar with that vibrational scale where, anger, anxiety, doubt, I don't know, fear, all that stuff is like a lower vibration. But up here, happiness and love and bliss and gratitude, all that is a higher vibration, right? So if you're panicking, or if you're anxious, or if you're scared and you're in scarcity mode, you're going to want to do some exercises to get you up that vibrational scale so that you can then solve problems from that space. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, just condition yourself to see your problems as a gift, and just start to extract the lessons from there, and then integrate that into how you do your business and move forward from there. Right. And also, I've talked about this in the past too, is like, um, moving forward from that place of that higher vibration, but also with your goal in mind, right? Like having your goal pull you towards it, as opposed to like pushing yourself to get there. Does that make sense? Like have that visualization of your goal in the end so that it's calling you forward. Does that make sense? So let's go into the framework on how to deal with the problems. Okay. Now that you're looking at your problems in a healthier way, how do you get the lessons and figure out the next steps? So you're going to look at three things. Okay. You're going to ask yourself, is this a problem of product, of the process, or of people? Okay. So the problems in your business will typically fall under those three categories. So let's start off with the product. Okay. This is like whatever your service is. Like, what are you delivering to your clients? That's your product. Even though we call it a service, that's your product. Okay. So you want to ask yourself, like, if there's a problem with your product. Okay. To know that, you have to check with your clients to see if they're getting results or not. And the tragedy is that so many people, especially in the coaching industry, don't even bother to look at this. Like they make great promises in their marketing, but they rarely keep track of what's actually happening with their people after they buy from them. And, I get calls every day from people are like, oh, I didn't get the result. I didn't get the result. And we dig into like, well, what's going on? What do you wish you would have had that you didn't get? Why do you think it was? All this stuff. What do you need that you didn't get? All this kind of stuff. Right. So just remember that as a service-based entrepreneur, people are paying you for those results and the solutions that they think that you can deliver. So if you've got a product problem, how do you fix it? Well, one, you could raise your prices and go high ticket, because when you do, guess what? Your clients are going to show up ready to do the work, that they're just more committed, right? If they're just paying, $100 an hour and whatever, they might show up, they might not show up. And then how are you going to get the results for them if they don't show up? But if they're paying you $10,000 for your service, right, to get that result, that allows you to go deeper with them to get that result, right? And then it also gives them that skin in the game that they might need to show up and to really put that energy and effort in to get their money's worth. Does that make sense? So that's one thing. And then the second thing is you can also make your offer like a life-changing offer, right? Instead of just like band-aids, I like to call them, like just little quick fixes or whatever, like really make it a life-changing offer. And that's possible to do when you do a high ticket, right? So you're not just like selling information, because if you're selling information like in a book or videos or courses or whatever, it's really not going to transform your client's life through the entire process, right? Like if you raise your prices, though, you could guide your clients through that process as she consumes the information that you provide. And you can just take them from where they are to the promised outcome for them, all while providing that needed support and accountability and stuff like that. Making sense? So if it's not your product, then the next question to ask is, do you have a problem with the process? So what's the process? It's about like it's about who is doing what in your business at a specific time. Okay. So what is your process for enrolling clients? What is your process for tracking things on social media? What is your process, for different things? Or, so when you're looking at the process, the first question is, do you even have one? Right? If you don't, you got to come up with one. So this is one of the best things about having a mentor, though, is that you can either come up with one of these processes all on your own for each of these things, or you can have someone like me who already has the proven systems in place and can just hand it over to you as you build and scale your business, right? It saves a lot of time, saves a lot of money from trying to figure it out on your own. So now the second thing is, though, to check, have you communicated that process with your team if you have one? So let's say when somebody inquires about your program, like let's say through a Facebook post or something, um, you've already mapped out like what, let's say Jordan's going to do, what Anne's going to do, et cetera, the people on your team, right? Well, that's all in good, but have you communicated that to them so that they understand it? And this is so crucial, that your team members will know what is expected of them, of course, right? So now if you have communicated it to your team, then the next question to ask is, have they done their jobs? Like, was the process followed? And if no, then you might have a people problem, not a product problem or a process problem. But if everybody did their job and still there was a problem, then you need to look at the entire process and find out where it broke down. Like, what's that bottleneck? What needs to get fixed in that process so that it will get you the results that you expect? And again, having a mentor can help you identify that much quicker, right? Because we're going to know what data to look for specifically in order to assess what specific thing is broken where, right? So now let's say it is a people problem. Um, there's someone on your team that hasn't, or just isn't getting the job done, right? You told them exactly what to do, but they aren't delivering. So now you have to ask yourself, is it a problem of training or is it a problem of temperament, right? And if it's training, then that means you haven't effectively communicated to that team member exactly what he or she is supposed to do and when to do it. And also, have you trained them to give them the skills that they need to do what is required of them? So if you're hiring competent people, then they fail. Okay. Most of the time it's because of training issues. So if that's the case, then that's on you, right? You got to train them adequately, and fix it by coaching them and doing everything that you got to do to get that person to perform well. Okay. But if you've done all that and they're still not delivering, then it might be a temperament problem. So this refers to the personality of a person. Okay. And if it matches with the job that you want them to do. So you could have a setter, an appointment setter, or a closer or whatever, but let's talk about appointment setter who happens to be an extrovert, okay, and just loves talking to people. That would be great. It would be a great match, right? But say you put her in charge of all the tech stuff and the back end of the business stuff, do you think she would do as wonderfully? Probably not, right? Because that's not her forte. That's not her expertise. Or that's not her, not the expertise, but that's not her forte, I guess, what she enjoys doing or what she's good at. So what I want you to understand is you don't want to misplace highly competent team members because otherwise their skills and abilities would just go to waste. So if you cannot move them to another post because they're not, temperamentally fit for the job that you hired them for, then you got to let them go. So it won't feel good, but at the end of the day, you'll be doing everyone a favor because being in a job that doesn't match who you are, it's a struggle every day and it just doesn't feel good. So that's how you should perceive problems. Just take them as inevitable, then develop ownership so you empower yourself to solve them, see them as gifts, opportunities. And when you encounter any problem, always check to see if it's a problem of product, process, people, okay? And the best shortcut you can have as you face the challenges of being a business owner is to have a coach or a mentor who will take you by the hand, walk you through the entire process step by step from where you are today to where you want to go. Okay? So here's what I want to do for you. If you have a problem in your business right now, like if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels, if you're feeling like you're throwing stuff up on the wall to see what sticks and nothing's working and you need some expert mentoring, then just type the word challenged in the comments here and I or someone from my team will get back to you with a DM. We offer a free 45-minute breakthrough session, we call it, where we will go and diagnose what's happening in your business, figure out what's working, what's not working, why you're not getting the results, and we'll discuss the best strategy to get you there. If you're a good fit to work with us, then we can talk about that. If not, then we will point you in the direction of someone that we might know that can get you those results that you're looking for. Okay, I want to help you fix it ASAP. So just let me know. Okay, type challenged in the comments below. I hope this has been helpful for you. Let's see if we've got any questions. Hey, Dina, great information. Awesome. Any questions? Any questions before we wrap up? I am here every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. So join us here live. Otherwise, you can catch the replays shortly after that. But yeah, if there's no questions, then I will see you next Thursday. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful week.